Welcome, my friends. Today we're going to be doing a very quick, nothing too fancy ranking of the Indiana Jones movies. I'm going to be doing similar videos for some of my other favorite franchises, so do be sure to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss out. That would really help me out a lot. Indiana Jones is my favorite franchise, and I do love all of the films, which makes some aspects of doing a ranking kind of tricky for me, but let's jump right into it. At number 5, it's Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I absolutely love the opening scene of this film where we finally get to see Indy doing his thing during World War II, and there are a lot of great sequences throughout, like the Tuk-Tuk Chase and the Ancient Syracuse segment. I like that the MacGuffin is quite different from the other films, and there are a lot of good ideas here. The acting is really great throughout this film too, with Harrison Ford giving a tremendous performance both in doing the action scenes, which is an unbelievable feat for a man of his age, and with the emotional scenes, which bring a new layer to his character. Having said that, I do think a lot of the choices here by the filmmakers are a discredit to the character and the franchise. Not on the level of the Disney Star Wars sequels, but it doesn't feel quite enough like an Indiana Jones movie should. In particular, I think the decision to kill off Indy's son off-screen is in poor taste, and the tone of the film is just a little too bleak for an Indiana Jones movie. I can respect that this was a deliberate choice to reflect the times and the realities of losing one's loved one to the Vietnam War, but it's a wildly jarring shift in tone from the ending of the previous film. While James Mangold did do a good job as director, I think the lack of Steven Spielberg and the sense of fun he injected into these films is really felt here. And number 4, of course, would then have to be Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I go back and forth between this and Dial of Destiny a lot, if I'm honest. I do think they're pretty closely rated for me, but they are wildly different movies with different issues to address. But not unlike Dial of Destiny, this one starts with a terrific opening adventure that calls back to Indy's past, as we finally get to see Indy explore the warehouse teased at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. At the time this film was being made, I was hoping that the Nazis would somehow return as villains, but now I'm glad that we got the Russians as unique enemies for Indy to face. And I think both Spalko and her muscle Dovchenko are great, memorable villains, which I have come to appreciate even more in the post-Dial of Destiny landscape. And I think the first half of the movie is pretty great, but once again there are a lot of little things which keep it from greatness on the level we expect from an Indiana Jones movie. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade left the franchise on such a high note, especially with its outstanding final act, and this one really felt disappointing upon the initial viewing. It seems like the film doesn't know what it wants to be, like are these interdimensional beings vengeful or benevolent? It isn't clear to me, and indeed I've heard rumors of a big argument on the set between George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, so it seems like there may have been too many cooks in the kitchen. And then we have Mac, who flip-flops his allegiance way too many times in the film, and his character just doesn't work. Then we have what should be a great chase scene marred with poor CGI, and some wacky ideas that maybe go a bit too far. Like I said, it's just a lot of little things that add up, but I do overall have a good time with this one. And that brings us to number 3 in the rankings, and this one is a tough one for me again, but I decided to place Last Crusade in this position. I really truly do love this film so much, and this is the one that actually got me into Indiana Jones in the first place. All 3 of the 1980s Indiana Jones films are in my eyes perfect and worthy of arguing for as the best in the series. I guess the only reason I put it at number 3 is that it rehashes some of the core ideas of Raiders of the Lost Ark rather than giving us something totally original. But the execution of everything it does is just flawless. The tank sequence is one of the best action scenes in the entire franchise, and the film takes Indy to new places emotionally just enough. The big thing that separates this from all of the other films, and sometimes makes me want to declare it as the best in the series, is the inclusion of Sean Connery. I'm a huge Bond fan as well, and love this actor in everything he does, and wow, he really nails this role and brings unbelievable chemistry with Harrison Ford. And the third act of this film is so great because Indy's quest for the Grail is woven into his rediscovered relationship with his father. The subsequent films each attempted to replicate the success of this generational relationship to middling results, and Connery was sorely missed in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And now on to my number 2, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I think one thing that makes this one so great is that it was a risk. They could have played it safe and had Indy chasing another biblical MacGuffin against the Nazis as the subsequent film would do, but instead they give him a completely random adventure with new friends, new villains, and a MacGuffin from a completely different religion. Mola Ram is such a fantastic villain and unlike anything else in the franchise. And I love Short Round so much as Indy's sidekick in this one. The bond between them brings so much heart and humor to a film which deals in some really dark subject matter. There's a great sense of building mystery throughout the first half of the film, and then the second half becomes balls to the wall action with incredible set piece after incredible set piece, culminating in the iconic bridge scene. The opening scene also outstanding, and once again unlike anything else in the franchise. Yes, Willie can be a little annoying, but I know that that's by design and it really doesn't bother me all that much. Honestly, not very much to complain about here. And so for me, the number 1 Indiana Jones movie is of course Raiders of the Lost Ark. What can be said about this film that hasn't already been said? The audience is introduced to this incredible character and the world of adventure in one of the all-time greatest opening scenes in cinema. A sense of mystery lingers throughout the film, which leads to a gloriously satisfying climax. There are so many perfectly written characters, from Belloq, who is a shadowy reflection of our hero, to Marion, who is badass and has interesting history and development with Indy, to Sallah, who is such a lovable and loyal friend to him. The action scenes are some of the best you will find in any movie, benefiting from a great story and an incredible cast of stunt workers. Like Star Wars before it, this film pushed the envelope in many technical departments and won 5 Academy Awards for sound editing, film editing, visual effects, and art direction. It's just a flawlessly enjoyable film, and it launched not only this franchise, but countless imitators. And that's it! I do wish there were more theatrical Indiana Jones movies, but there are only the 5. However, I have made an effort to adapt some of the expanded material into works that fans of the films can enjoy, including fan edits of the Young Indy TV show and feature-length movie edits of the video games, so do be sure to check them out in this playlist. Let me know your rankings down below, and be sure you're subscribed for more. Till next time, my friends, I wish you all fortune and glory. Bye-bye now.